What's up, addicts? We're back today with Goblin Slayer episode 8.
Yep.
I'm here today.
You are here today. We don't have Imitation Michael with us, which is good because as much as I like Imitation Michael, he doesn't give me any feedback. And the discussion can't really be a discussion.
But we saw that you guys like this video, so maybe we'll keep it shorter.
Yeah, maybe. It's always hard when there's two. Anyway, getting onto it, we get to see this. It kind of takes a cut to like the next morning, I guess, from the events of the last episode. We get to. It starts off with like a flashback scene with Goblin Slayer and his, I guess, mentor. So we get a little bit of that, but then it just goes into him being magically healed by priestess power of
resurrection.
Yeah.
We have that scene.
By Virgin Mobile.
Exactly. We have that scene. We have a lot of dialogue in this episode.
Yeah.
As far as his master, we kind of get like he's an old individual. He looks like a Rhea or something like that. Some other.
I'm sure when he first met him,
race.
he was like, "Are you a goblin?"
Yeah, I heard someone comment. It's like it's an old mean Bilbo Baggins. I'm like, that's quite appropriate. So we get to see like how hard his training was and how he had to answer riddles. I don't know how that contributes, maybe to his mental growth. And then what's in my pocket, and then after that we get to see him. It was confirmed that he died. Yeah, because this is a resurrection kind of ceremony. You get to see him, all the scars he has from fighting goblins.
Without the helmet.
Yes.
And they do kind of like a Michael Myers moment in the new Halloween where you just see side glimpses of his face, like the under part of it, so you don't full-blown see his face, so half.
Yeah, so this episode, it's just retooling, getting new armor. They go on their adventure. I don't know if this is the adventure that he promised. I think it is. So they defeat an eye creature towards the end. They get ice cream, and there's a lot of conversation between him and Priestess. We get to see Spearman and Witch in this one as well.
We get to see the return to Cinder from his letter that he had in the last episode, which, glad that they brought that up because I was like, they had no info dropped of what that letter was containing, so we get to figure out what that was and get to see him use the thing that he actually sent for, which is pretty cool.
We have a science experiment that I don't know if any scientists out there, let us know if that's realistic or not.
I don't think it is.
I don't think so either. But
it's like literally the one excuse that they could cop off for that is magic, but there was no magic.
They didn't do any magic.
It was like, it's science. I'm like, just stick to magic. Science thing doesn't work.
Just stick to magic.
But and then we ended the episode with Mysterious Mirror.
Yeah. So what were some of your favorite moments? I mean, I kind of told everything that happened. So.
I like some of the dialogue. That there's a good back and forth, funny moments in there. I think seeing them go up against something that isn't goblins is always interesting, because Goblin Slayer.
Blasphemous.
Yeah, it's blasphemous, but it's also kind of shows like his mental capacity because even though he doesn't have like the physical prowess, he makes up for that a lot, especially with these bigger monsters. I will say there is, before I get on to that, there is like some characters that, we still didn't know much about that we get to know more about, like the new name drop for is Sword Maiden. So I like that we got to, more background of that, knowing a little bit more. I think that's always neat. But, there was some, things that seemed just a little off, or just I don't want to say fan servicey, but just kind of I don't know if it needed to be there. Which, I mean, I don't know.
That's how you wrote the story, but it is kind of contrived with how they focused on it for a while.
Yeah, that's just me. I mean, it's not that I hated it or anything. I was just kind of okay.
I mean, we could move on to other stuff.
Yeah. But what about you?
I like, again, the dialogue. It's always great to hear Goblin Slayer interact with people just because of his ideology and what he thinks about himself and the world. We get to see more of a mentality of planning for their later adventure, because we get to see him kind of use all of his party kind of to full effect.
Yeah.
And Josh was talking about this earlier, that it is kind of funny that he said, well, if this doesn't work, we'll just fire arrows at this enemy endlessly.
It's so good. It's like the go-to plan for every gamer that faces a high level. I love that.
Kite him. Just kite him.
Yeah. we'll get down his health bar eventually, even if it takes all day.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there is a couple of things, where, like I said, dialogue's pretty heavy, or I think Michael said that, where the dialogue's heavy, but, a little bit moments, just getting more interaction with these. Priestess and Goblin Slayer's talk seems a little awkward, but I think it's meant to be a little awkward because of everything that's transpired from the last episode and the beginning of this episode. But, it kind of deepens the relationship a little bit. I do like that, when we're figuring out more about the Sword Maiden, that there's a line where she's like, yeah, I defeated the Demon Lord, but isn't that ironic that I defeated him and yet I'm scared of goblins? And it kind of just goes into to showing that, like, these are, like, pretty, like, formidable foes to go up against.
So what do you want to see in the future?
I don't know. Like, the mirror thing is going to be fun to see. I think it's going to be more of, like, it's going to be something big, or at least you think it's going to be something big, and then it's going to be like, no, that's resolved in like 5 minutes, probably.
They probably, like they just move on, and
yeah,
it's not goblins, who cares?
Yeah, that's probably like, everybody's like, oh, look at that mirror, should we go check it out? And he's like, no, goblins are this way. So I think that's probably what it's going to be like. So interested to see that. Still nothing about the gods, so I'm thinking, this is episode 8, we got 4 more episodes. I'm not, we're going to see what they do with that. I don't think they're going to touch on that maybe till like the last episode now, which I'm fine with because they got to still tackle this whole thing with the city. And so I'm just curious to see if, if that's going to be the rest of the season, or if they're going to finish that in maybe the next episode or 2, and then we're going to get something else to have kind of like a cliffhanger.
It'll be interesting to see if we have a new arc or not, if he has to kill more goblins.
Yeah, I do. It's kind of like wishful thinking. I don't think it really makes sense for them to be there. But one thing that I would like to see is the witch lady and the spearman, help them maybe once or twice in an episode, since they're already in the same city now. But that's kind of one of those, like, if you could, that'd be great. If not, okay.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. This episode's fairly short and concise. We have 4 more episodes like Josh was talking about, so we probably have one more arc to think about, but besides that...
1.5, because you don't leave this on a cliffhanger, probably.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that's pretty much it, addicts. You have all our links in the description, more episode-by-episode reviews. You know the drift, and we'll be here till the end. Of Goblin Slayer, and then we'll pick another show. All right, later, addicts.
See ya.